Welcome back to R-Type Final 2. So last time we finished the main course. There are still a lot more stages in the game, though. And today we are going to be taking a look at what is effectively the first DLC, which is the X courses. There's X, Y, and Z courses. And that's a series of 7 or so courses per letter. So we've still got like 3 games worth of courses to go through. And starting off the X courses, we are going to be playing with the R902, Ragnarok 2. Now, the R90 is right here, and this is the ship from R-Type 3. However, the ship in R-Type 3 actually had kind of 2 different wave cannons that it could use. It could use the hyperwave cannon, which is kind of a rapid-fire cannon, and it could use the mega wave cannon. The main draw of the Mega Wave Cannon being that it can go through the ground and walls. There were also 3 different forces that it could equip, of which it had this standard force, nothing fancy, the Shadow Force, and the Cyclone Force. So we're going to be using the R902 Ragnarok 2, an improvement on the base Ragnarok, which of course uses the Cyclone Force, as I mentioned, as well as the Giga Wave Cannon. 7 loop charge, this thing pierces walls, and once fully charged, will kill literally anything. Getting that charge is actually kind of complicated, so I wouldn't expect that per se, but it's an option. Outstanding stability was developed for the hyperdrive system, also equipped with an even more powerful wave cannon. A unique 7-loop charge and the most powerful gun of all. It can obliterate all enemies and is nicknamed the Final Wave Cannon. I was debating for a little while if there were other wave cannons that I would maybe prefer over this one, because there's a lot of interesting ones, like the Diffusion Wave Cannon, that has been very useful in many situations. But I think the fact that this one, even after a few loops, 2 or 3 loops, pierces walls, makes this one kind of uncomparable. Of course, it has the Cyclone Force. The core control system is buried within a jellified Bido life form. And then nothing terribly fancy as far as the bits or missiles are concerned. So, going to the hangar, we can now see... Nope, not that one. There it is. Ragnarok 2. So, since the DLC came in several different ways that you had to purchase it, waves that you had to purchase it in, the first one actually only counts stages 1 and 2. That said, I'm still probably going to be showing off the first stage, raw, and then after that just going in through score attack. And as I mentioned before, I think practice difficulty is actually very fitting, given that you can play on practice difficulty. They give you some prep and some room to learn the stage. And then once you have learned the stage, you can up the difficulty and play through it again much more easily, as I myself did. But that said, for the purposes of videos, I'm not here to prove anything. I am instead here to showcase the game. So I'm just going to play through on practice and not kill myself.
are you feeling? Now, you are about to go into the start sequence. The start sequence has been completed. Are you ready to take off? Good luck.
Stage X1, Flame-Engulfed Arms Factory. These are homage stages, which means they're remakes of stages from existing R-Type games. Specifically with this one, it's a stage from R-Type 3. Stage 4, I believe. I don't actually really like the yellow. Now you see the flame spouts coming down, and there's actually an indication of where they're going to come down on practice. This does not exist on many harder difficulties. You just kind of have to know. I would love to kill that guy. Oh, we did it. We got him! Good job, team. Oh. Now, it's kind of difficult to do with red, but you can actually destroy these flame spouts. You can also see the gates open and close periodically. And it can be kind of hard to tell where a flame spout is going to go. Which is especially why the angles, the lines, are really helpful. And they're not on screen for long, but it's just enough to make your life a little bit easier. So we're coming up on kind of a mini-boss here. And this mini-boss is going to be infinitely easier if you take out the flame spouts. I don't know if I can take out that last one easy without grabbing that yellow. No, we got it. Got it. Cool. And now to go backwards. Okay, the force was fully powered. I wasn't actually sure if it had another stage or not. So I did not destroy that flame spout. So let's just hope it doesn't do anything drastic until I'm safe. Okay, I can take out this one. There we go. Don't have to worry about that one. Now, I would like to get red. No, actually, I think I would like to keep blue. Wait, take out that flame spell. So just like in the original stage, you fly forward, you kill the mini-boss, and you back up. And then you go down through a newly broken platform. And we're nearing the end of the stage. We have to make our way through this hot mess, which shouldn't be the worst. And one more group here. And then we can charge up for our boss. So we got a boss. Careful, he speeds across the first time. And then from here, he generally only shoots at you when you're lined up with him horizontally or vertically. Crap. As long as you keep moving, he can generally never hit you. And that's boss. R9B2, Stayer. Interatmospheric Long Cruise Unit, fighter for extremely long-distance atmospheric missions. The wave cannon's output has been increased by 1 rank. Barrier Wave Cannon 2, the number of barrier blocks were increased, sustained block time was also investigated, but budget constraints terminated further research. Defensive Force. This force was developed to provide short-range defensive capabilities for fighters armed with long-range cannons. And the regular bits and missiles. Except, this one has the Balmung. This is where this missile originated. Stage 2, Inside of Ruins. This is actually a stage from R-Type Leo. Though it's gone through a bit of a graphical overhaul, much of the level stays exactly the same as it was. As you're going between these little platforms, the beginning is simply an introduction to them, nothing too dramatic. Since we're using the Balmung missile, you can actually use it right here to take care of many of these enemies without having to take care of them head-on, and even breaking the pods inside that little enclave, so you can collect them. The power-ups in this stage are actually redesigned to represent how they looked and functioned in Leo. And unfortunately our Balmung missile, there used to be little pods here rotating around that would shoot at you, but our Balmung missile is destroying them before we get to see them. Get to interact with the moving platforms just a little bit more this time. You actually, once again, have to go in the middle of them. Typically, the strategy with these is wait until the last second. Like, wait until the platforms... Wait until you don't think you would live long enough to get on the next elevator, and you should be fine. Again, our Balmung missile is making handy work of these rotating columns that normally move down and slowly explode. Or not explode, but shoot at you. Something, again, we don't really have to worry about. These rotating blocks gave me a bit of trouble, but they're not terribly bad to deal with. You can collide directly with them, though, not just be smushed. So keep your distance and go through as soon as they open up. Once you get a handle on it, it's really not that bad. plenty of bits in this stage, which, if you were playing all the stages back to back, would actually serve you quite well. And this is Leo, so a lot of the emphasis was on the bits, so yeah, give you the bits. The Balbong Missile continuing to just make very quick work of all of the little enemies. Now this here gets to be a little bit tricky, and this is probably one of... This on is the hardest part of the stage. Collect these 2 power-ups as soon as you can with the ability that you want. I waited too long because you want to catch that elevator. If you don't catch that elevator, I think there is a way that you can get out of it, but you're mostly just dead. So grab the power-ups that you want as quickly as possible so you can catch that first elevator. Yellow is pretty good for taking out the various cannons around here, and they will cause you problems. Now that you're off the elevator, you can kind of do this rotation around, which is actually training you for a need you will need to do in a moment. However, that guy on the left shoots out a bunch of missiles, and I will always get hit by them. The guy that causes me the most trouble is actually an enemy who comes in very late on the screen, so it's difficult to take care of him before he becomes problems. The shield bit will protect you, but you just have to pay attention and dodge. The boss itself is not terribly difficult, but you are dealing with the moving platforms. Your force and some dodging should dodge the fire coming out of the front, so that shouldn't be too big an issue. However, keep an eye on when the boss stops moving and starts charging. Get to the top or bottom of the screen, or you will die. I died to that several times before I even realized what was happening. And the boss goes down without too much fuss.